You were at an event recently. Well, we were in an event together recently, but you got like a in-person live like voice training session.
Yeah.
And we were there with a friend who does like actual voice training with a therapist, and they even still found the session that you did just at this party, like a very informal setting, to be very informative and very helpful, and like they were learning new things about it. So that seemed like really cool and really helpful. What were some of your like takeaways from that?
Yeah, actually, while I talk to you, I'm going to try to implement my learnings.
Excellent.
Actually, okay, so one thing that's really hard for me is apparently it's like a masculine trait to fill the space of your sentences completely with noise and not let any gaps for silence.
Yeah, as somebody who has to edit the sound on these podcasts,
Oh, do you cut out my gaps?
yes, it's sort of like the conversational version of like manspreading.
Oh, yeah, it's actually something the voice trainer compared it to was manspreading, is just like you kind of have to manspread in your language.
Yeah, exactly. You're already pulling that off, I think,
I mean,
subconsciously,
not
albeit.
to, like, I don't want to give away all her secrets, but I feel like you can boil it down to masculinize your voice, you have to take up space, and to feminize your voice, you have to compress your space.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to take up too much space.
That makes sense to me, even as someone who's never done any kind of like formal voice training and is just like kind
Yeah,
of happy with their voice where it is.
this is kind of something that we touched on at the trans event that we went to, but part of voice feminization, I feel, is kind of conforming to expectations placed on women via misogyny.
Perhaps.
Like, I watched a tip on her Instagram page where she posts more voice training tips, and she said that the, Valley Girl voice, where you tilt the end of your sentence up like this, is commonly viewed as, there's like misogynistic associations with that voice, but it will make you sound more feminine.
Yeah, I guess it's complicated. I mean, you could apply that logic to a lot of things about transitioning, where it's like, are you just trying to fill this perceived image of femininity, particularly among trans femmes? I guess the way that I like to to simplify it is like, whatever you're attempting to do to make yourself more feminine, are you doing it for you? And if you are, then you're probably doing the right thing. It's as simple as it is. Like, if you're doing it because of expectations and pressure put on you by the outside world collectively, maybe focus on like understanding why those pressures and expectations affect you so much, rather than trying to conform to them.
Just focusing on, like, if it feels right, essentially.
So do you think you're going to like try and make a more conscious effort to voice train, or to alter your voice, or to achieve a voice that's closer to what you want in your head?
I do want to. It's not even necessarily that I want my voice to sound more masculine. I think it's more that I want to stop myself from subconsciously feminizing my voice, like raising my voice at the end of a sentence, just to maintain a sense of androgyny with my presentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also just like when I go into the office, like at my job, I try to pass a little better. So I don't want my coworkers to think I have a feminine voice.
That's fair. That makes sense.
The voice trainer's name is Altamira, by the way. I believe her Instagram is caves_of_Altamira. She has really good voice training tips on her page.
Yeah, she seemed like
she was super knowledgeable.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing that was different about her voice training tips is she's very she's an expert pretty much on specifically. I feel like she knows a lot about like the anatomy of the throat and mouth, that she also knows how to use that knowledge to your advantage in terms of voice feminization or masculinization. She even knows like where to position your tongue when you say certain consonants, how that will affect you sounding masculine versus feminine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I basically paid for a girl to info dump at me, so it was pretty cool.
Welcome to Brain Frot, episode 5, right?
Yeah, 5.
Episode 5.
I'm Lex.
I'm Lavender.
I was actually going to ask you if you are interested in voice training at all yourself.
No, not particularly.
You just aren't. You don't feel like any voice dysphoria or need to alter it.
I don't really feel any dysphoria anymore. Like, my ego's too big. If I could snap my fingers and sound like Dakota Johnson immediately, I would do it. But I'm not willing to put the work in. I'm super susceptible to cringe. This is one thing that really stumbled me early in my transition. Like before I was even able to like medically start transitioning as a kid, and was like doing like voice training apps and stuff. It's fucking cringe. It's so cringy.
Because you have to listen back to yourself.
And like it sounds so goofy when you start and like embarrassing.
Because you're just reading dumb little passages.
I felt so embarrassed that I would stop doing it immediately. And I'm even more susceptible to cringing now than I was at the time. So there's no chance that I could ever voice train without making myself cringe my bones into dust. So like power to the people who are really putting the grind in to get their voices. Some of these dolls sound fucking incredible. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of parts of me that will never be passing, and I've definitely resigned my voice to be one of them. Like, I think I'm just gonna do the kind of squeaky twink thing forever.
I think you put on a pretty feminine voice sometimes.
I appreciate that. I mean, I'm not making no conscious effort. I mean, okay. I do have a fag scent just from like years of being a queer person, and like. Maybe I put a little bit, like a little subtextual conscious effort into just feminizing my voice in little ways, but I would never go like the full die-hard voice training route.
I've told you this before, but you tend to feminize your voice more in sexual contexts.
That's really interesting because I feel like those are the contexts where I think about it the least. You know?
It's all natural.
Maybe it is. That's just what bottoming does to me. Maybe that's just like, that brings out my girliest.
You know, like when I'm bottoming, my voice tends to go lower if you're really hitting the spot.
That's fascinating. This is the real voice training session right now. We're doing some real teaching, like...
Yeah, if you want to train your voice, try bottoming.
Try bottoming. Do you know those, like, those memes that are like, how I speak, how I moan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what we're getting at here.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I was going to say about voice training with Mira was that another really cool thing about her is she doesn't do just... usually voice training will just be voice feminization. Obviously, I'm a trans mask person, and she'd specifically advertised that she does feminization, masculinization, and androgenization, which I have never really seen advertised before. You don't really see voice masculinization advertised that often, since testosterone takes care of a lot of voice masculinization, but she just like opened my eyes that there's so much more I can do with my voice than just settle on what testosterone did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's all. I recommend her. Well, I was just gonna throw in that, like, I also think a person's voice can be very attractive.
You're right.
And I'm like, maybe if I voice train more, like, maybe I'll be sexier.
Perhaps. I wouldn't count that as a core reason to voice train, because I feel like people's perception of what is attractive in a voice is so drastically different and varied.
But, like, if I think my voice is sexy, maybe I'll be more confident then.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe,
yeah, like I said, if you're doing it for yourself, keep doing it.
Yeah. It's like, not like a dysphoria thing, but more of a euphoria thing, where I'm like, oh, I sound so much more mask and sexy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
So we weren't supposed to talk about sex in this episode.
That's just where it comes to.
I guess we didn't say that we couldn't talk about sex in this episode, but we do say, like, the description of this podcast and our, like, vision for this was that we were going to talk about the broad reaching spectrum of transgender culture in the year of our Lord 2024.
Yeah.
And we've covered sex and drugs quite a bit already. We'll get back to it. There'll be more, but it's time to lean into that culture element, I think.
We're mostly going to talk about music this episode, which is related to voices. So
absolutely, yeah, that's exactly why I used that cue in. But we kind of wandered away from it, which is fine. I enjoyed the territory we wandered into. So I think we're both going to have our moments to talk about some of the music we've enjoyed recently, some of the tea we've consumed recently, and some of the shows that we've been to recently put on by wonderful trans artists. However, to start, I want to say, just looking at the past calendar year has been an astonishingly great year, in my opinion, for trans music. I run a blog in my professional life as a music writer, where obviously I did my albums of the year, and I can be a little picky and perhaps a little pretentious about maintaining that list in as tight and accurate an order as possible. And not because I am a trans person, but because I think trans women are making such great music right now. My top 4 albums of 2023 were all made by trans women, which is amazing. And the one that intersectionally crosses between you and I the best is obviously the Underscores album, Wall Socket, which we both, I think, are comfortable saying is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was probably one of my favorite albums, if not my absolute favorite album of last year. And it was probably, it might have been one of my favorite shows of last year too.
I totally agree.
She had really cool visuals. I don't know, like, I feel like you're better at talking about music than I am.
No, I mean, we went to the Underscore show together here in LA at the Roxy. It was great. The crowd was great. She is not necessarily the most intense and the most involved performer. However, the music itself was just ripping. I mean, she was killing it up there with the bangers, and the way that she sort of played with space and isolation in the quieter songs, like the lights going out and this one caged light bulb hanging from the ceiling swaying back and forth during the ballad on Wall Socket, You Don't Even Know Who I Am, was a really great touch. I thought that Underscores, like, April's stage presence was spectacular.
Yeah, I was about to say her stage presence specifically was really strong, despite her, I mean, she's playing that thing up there, but it's not like she's busting out moves or anything. She was kind of standing there and singing, but everyone's so hyped for it. And like when she gets serious, like the whole crowd is silent. just really intently watching her, and she brings the energy back up, especially with like locals. Everyone went crazy. I couldn't survive that long to mosh.
I was
during
right in
locals.
front of her for the locals encore, which that song was one of my favorite singles. My favorite, actually, my favorite single of 2023. That song is a world class fucking banger and unforgettable experience, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she also the visuals were cool, the little short film interludes between the songs, but also because she is on the more shy side in terms of performers, and there wasn't a whole ton of direct interaction between April and the crowd. She used the visuals really effectively. Like, the visuals were communicating with the crowd, building up hype in the crowd, doing the kind of things like this side cheer versus like this side cheer that normally like a very charismatic singer would be doing to the crowd. She sort of
Yeah.
passed that, like, just because she wasn't doing that doesn't mean that energy and that presence wasn't there. She just found a very creative way to work that into the visuals.
I feel like maybe the way it was all presented was even more effective with how online the crowd tends to be at this show.
Yeah, definitely. The underscores crowd was definitely a combination of like terminally online hyperpop trans people and like rate your music bros.
Yeah.
So the combination was really funny. I just remembered actually right now that Jedwell opened for underscores, and during that show we saw someone fall over and 3 cell phones fall out of their hoodie, and they very quickly collected them and put them back in the pocket of their hoodie.
Do you think that was
anyone ever followed up on that?
Do you think that was a rate your music, bro?
Oh, definitely.
What
Yeah,
do you have
yeah,
those
yeah.
3 phones for?
Like 3 different Rate Your Music accounts signed in on 3 phones, so that you can all like go rate the new Kanye album of like 5-star on 3 different accounts.
That's so funny.
That's how I think of Rate Your Music Bros, I guess. But yeah, underscores, wall socket. I've got to do it. One of the best projects that I personally worked on in 2023 was a video essay that I did about underscores and Jane Remover that I'm really, really proud of. So go and watch that if you want to. And that's a pretty good lead into, I just a few days ago saw Jane Remover here in Los Angeles with El Rey. That was an interesting show. It was a much more, fittingly to her fantastic new album, Census Designated, it was a much more impressionistic show. Very low presentation, really just about like her and her performance and the intimacy of her performance with the crowd. And like, she was also very shy, but it was almost like that was part of it. Like, she didn't want any distractions from how shy she was because things were just so intimate, and it's like, it was a very raw performance. I think they kind of did her like touring acts dirty. It was a 3-band lineup, and she played in the middle.
Really?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just like left after Jane Remover, and I was like, that's tough. Like, that's unfortunate for the person she's touring with. I'm not really sure why they did that. I know it was only the second show on their tour, but like, even just looking at the tour poster and the merch and stuff, like, Jane is headlining that tour.
Yeah, she's
ostensibly.
big enough. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Kim Petras Aisha erotica beef?
I mean, so I'll preface by saying, like, it's all dumb. Like, it's nothing that actually like means anything, but for some reason, because Kim stans were kind of like, so Kim stans, okay, so basically Kim stans started harassing Aisha erotica on Twitter because Aisha was talking about trying to sign on to a label. She was talking with the label Kim is with, I believe is Republic. And apparently Republic told her that Kim basically fills the niche of, slut pop type beat that Aisha is usually known for, but she is trying to turn away from that perception of herself. She's trying to dive more into like an emo sound, apparently. But she doesn't want to do the slut pop thing anymore.
Aisha doesn't.
Aisha, yeah. I know Slut Pop is literally one of Kim's albums, which I'm going to talk about Slut Pop Miami in a second as well. There's so much to cover here. But basically, Aisha was like, I'm not that slutty anymore. She basically said, like, I don't want to do Kim's thing anymore. And Kim stans, took that as an attack on Kim. They're like, what's wrong with Kim? What's wrong with Kim?
Music bad.
Okay.
So I will say, in 2024, I don't particularly like the music of either Kim Petras or Aisha Erotica. I think it's not an attack on them personally. I think they're fine people. I think they're both kind of funny. It's been a while since Kim Petras made even one song that I love, probably since Malibu, which came out in like 2020. I love her debut album, Clarity. I think it's a spectacular record.
Clarity's really good.
I have the poster on my wall right behind me. I'm not a Kim hater. I just think that she's wandered real far from
what about Unholy?
Most interesting material. I do like Unholy. She plays a good role in it. Even though it's not a Kim song. I guess that counts for something. But it did land on an extremely mediocre Sam Smith album. Anyway, Aisha Erotic has never made anything that I liked. I mean, I think her music is kind of functionally bad on purpose. And like, I enjoyed. We saw her perform recently, and I get it. I understand why it's a fun show. She put on a very good vibe, but I'm never going to like.
I mean, the crowd loves it.
I'm never going to put on an Aisha song in the car, or like. I mean, I'm never going to listen to an Aisha project.
particular mood that.
Bad?
Like, I want to listen to something trashy, yeah. So I'll put Aisha
I just feel like
on.
You can make trashy music that's good.
Like the first Slut Pop album, in my opinion.
There's a couple songs. I like Treat Me Like a Slut a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Daft Punk's Technologic, but I like it. It's a good song.
It's funny you say that because Slut Pop Miami has a bit more of that Daft Punk sound, but they don't really do good with it.
Yeah, so Kim Petras just dropped a sequel to Slut Pop.
Sorry I'm cutting away from
Valentine's Day.
I'm cutting away from the beef, but there wasn't really that much to it.
The only thing I even care about the beef is that Aisha is calling Kim stans prep users, which is so hilarious. Funny. Because like, even though they're two prominent trans women in music, almost all of Aisha Erotica's fans are cis women, and almost all of Kim Petras' fans are cis men. So why do we give a shit anyway? Like, talking about them on a podcast that's about trans culture is arguably a misnomer.
Aisha fans are definitely also prep users. I don't know what she's talking about.
It's funny though. I do like that's good. Because it taps into like just how far Kim has wandered from the dolls who supported her in her early days into the sort of vapid, what I'll perhaps offensively call Ally X pop.
Damn, and I like Ally X. You and I just disagree on this.
I know. I just as she became a more and more boring pop star, less trans people listen to her and pay attention to her, and a lot of trans people outright dislike her. I don't think that's fair, and I'll stand up for her as a person and her artistic history against trans people, but I can't deny that I listened to Slut Pop Miami today and I thought it was terrible. The album is getting blasted by everybody who listens to it right now, so it's just setting in that it's like Kim has really made this decade. I mean, we're 5 years into the 2020s, and I could not name 5 Kim Petras songs from the decade so far that I enjoy.
I could, but I'm different because I'm a big Slut Pop 1 fan.
So
honestly,
what's your take on Slut Pop Miami?
I think I'll have to give it another listen because right now I can't even pick out one that I like. And that's pretty brutal because I have I think I have, compared to you, pretty low standards for liking a song.
They sound like demos.
Yeah,
Like they're like song fragments.
especially one of her songs, Cock Blocker, feels like she's just reading from her notes app.
Yeah.
Like, I like drugs, I like sex. What I don't like, a cock blocker.
It's like the first draft of Purr by Slater.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. It's just like you can tell how low effort it is, and I know that like a lot of people took aim at some of the industry dealings of the slut pop era because a lot of people felt like that was something pressed by Kim's label and some of her producers and managers more than Kim's artistry herself, because leading up to that she was going in a pretty different direction artistically. But now with the doubling down on the whole slut pop thing, which like I thought the slut pop, the first one EP was okay, you really like it, most people hated it and thought it was terrible, and now she's doubling down on it with an even worse project that even fans can't defend. It seems like the narrative that a lot of people were using to try and artistically defend the first one is also crumbling by the existence of the second one.
It sucks that I can't defend this because the visuals she was putting out, she's getting fucked on the album cover, like it's awesome. But then like none of the songs are even catchy.
I agree.
Yeah.
They're just not good.
Oh, Kim.
So, you're about to go see Frost Children.
Oh, yeah.
Very soon. Frost Children dropped 2 new albums last year. I'm not even sure I would say 2023. I think they haven't really had their breakthrough yet. Like, I know a lot of people know who Frost Children is in the hyperpop scene, but something tells me that right now is not the biggest that they'll ever be. Like, I think they have a bigger future ahead of them.
I could definitely see them blowing up, like,
Yeah.
in a more mainstream way.
I agree.
Especially because Angel is, like, a model and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm gonna see them this Friday for their double-headed tour where they're opening for themselves. They're gonna open with Speedrun, I guess come back and do, Hearthroom.
Yeah, so this is really cute. I like this a lot. Like, they
Yeah.
dropped 2 albums last year.
And they're, like, two
touring,
different sounds.
very different sounds. Yeah, and they're touring, like, the opening act is Frost Children playing one album, and the headliner is Frost Children playing the other album.
Which is exactly what I want.
That's really cute. Like,
Yeah.
that's adorable. And I liked the second album they released last year that was a lot more low-key, a lot more emo, and like pop-punky influence sounds. I liked it a good bit. I reviewed it and gave it a pretty positive review. So I would say, I'm not saying that Frost Children are going to have a hit like Unholy or anything overnight, but I'm saying it would not surprise me if they get more popular in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I think they also produce for other artists sometimes. And, you know, they've done quite a few collabs with... I like their collab they did with Baby Morocco and Negi Gemi. I don't know if you've heard either of those songs.
I don't think I have, unless you've like played them in the car or something.
Maybe. But, like, I think they have pretty strong production and good range in what they can do.
Definitely. They have, of all of the like current hyperpop, the upper echelon of the hyperpop underground that they exist in, they definitely have a wider variety of influences than a lot of their contemporaries. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
And their shows are super hype because I went to a subculture party about a year ago that they played at, and it was probably one of my favorite sets from that year. I was super high when Angel did her spoken word Bob Dylan piece that is on Hearthroom. And obviously I'd never heard it before because it wasn't out yet, and that felt like it was like 20 minutes long of her like reading, like speaking poetry at me about Bob Dylan. I'm actually subscribed to the Frost Children Patreon, and she is going to send me a handwritten letter in the mail that I'll frame.
Big fan over here.
I'm a big Angel fan.
Big fan.
They posted that they're gonna smash a guitar at the LA show, so I'm pretty excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess while we're sort of talking about hyperpop artists like Underscores and Frost Children, we're sort of levitating around. We should at least touch on 100 Gex are still around.
Dorian Electra.
I don't want to talk about Dorian Electra. We stay out of discourse on this podcast.
What? It's not discourse. They released a new album.
And it's not very good.
Okay.
Like, it's definitely the worst Dorian album yet, don't you think?
Really? I like it more than My Agenda. I didn't like My
disagree.
Agenda that much.
That's crazy. That's probably what I would say I think is the best.
Really? I liked Flamboyant more. I actually haven't listened to the full, what's this new one called?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, I've only heard pretty much the singles from it, but I like the singles. And I didn't like the singles from My Agenda.
I like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't like Dorian has more good songs in the past 5 years
ahead,
than Kim
say
Petras.
Say the slur.
What slur?
They fab.
Oh, no. The reason I don't want to... I don't have any personal beef with Dorian, but trans people hate Dorian Electra, especially trans femmes. Fairly or unfairly. I don't think it's particularly fair, but I get it. And I don't want to wade into that. It's like Finster. People get hostile when you bring Dorian Electra up. I was going to talk about 100 Gex. Let's get back to that because...
Sorry.
It seemed... I don't know if you felt similarly, but 1000 Gex came out in 2019 and 10,000 Gex came out 4 years later, just under 4 years later, in 2023, in March of 2023, I believe. And that 4-year gap felt like they were gone for a decade.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I think people were talking about 10,000 Gex for ages, like waiting for it to come out. And I think a lot of the songs, like they would perform songs from 10,000 Gex several years before the album came out.
Way in advance.
So it's like we'd already heard like half the songs, and they would change. They went through multiple iterations before dropping on the album. But I really liked 10,000 Gex. I thought the wait like paid off for me because I like it even more than 1,000 Gex, I think.
Yeah, the thing with 1,000 Gex as an album is more about what it did for hyperpop than the actual album itself, because like you can pick, how many songs of that album, 10 or 11? You can pick the 5 best songs and drop the rest of it.
Yeah.
Real talk. Between some of the weirder interludes, some of the weaker written songs and less interestingly produced songs, I definitely think that by comparison, even though 10,000 Gex may not have been as impactful and it may have felt more like Gex playing catch up with the zeitgeist rather than resetting the framing, it's probably a better, more cohesive and more consistent album. Yeah.
They were playing that shit on Fox News.
They were bumping it on Fox. That's
a commercial success.
Exactly. I think it charted. Like it definitely hit a couple charts when it dropped. I remember reading about that. I don't know if it was like Billboard 200 big, but they were definitely... I mean, they still get a lot of attention. I think for a lot of people, they are still kind of the hyperpop default.
Yeah. It's funny, when I... Actually, kind of bringing it back to Frost Children a little bit, when I first found Frost Children, I and other people would be like, oh, it's like 100 Gex, but like they're younger.
Yeah.
But now, like, Frost Children are kind of growing into their own thing, which I think is cool.
We're looking for the new, even younger, the 100 Gex Frost Children.
Babies.
Yeah, the Frost Babies.
Wow.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, 100 Gex have been like kind of pioneers of hyperpop a little bit with like Sophie and...
Yeah, I would say they had hyperpop's mainstream breakthrough.
Yeah.
I would say that they both contributed to and borrowed from sounds that were being worked on in the very nebulous and difficult to define world of hyperpop and internet music, they were just the ones who broke through commercially in a way that nobody had yet.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing Money Machine on the Rolling Stones, Songs of the Year list was like unthinkable at the start of 2019.
Yeah, that's really funny. They're like a step below Charlie XCX in hyperpop mainstream.
Yeah, that's true. But Charlie still, in the mainstream has that reputation because she entered the fray as a more conventional pop star before going experimental. I feel like most people don't think of Charlie XCX as a hyperpop artist. I mean, most people think of her as the girl who sings the hook on Fancy.
Yeah, she's like a feature artist to straight people.
Yeah, the boom clap girl.
Yeah, the boom clap girl, yeah. The Royals girl.
So, unfortunately for you, this part is we're about to leave your wheelhouse.
All right.
Because there is this perception among young, terminally online trans people that there's like a niche of sounds sonically that trans people make, and hyperpop and electronica and breakcore stuff like Sewer Slut. Not the case. Any type of music you could think of, there are trans people making it. So to quickly fly all the way back to the other two albums, aside from Underscores and Jane Remover, that were some of my favorites last year. My album of the year last year was Anohni's My Back is a Bridge for You to Cross, which is a remarkable soul record. She's a singer that's been around for decades. She was in this wonderful band in the 2000s called Anthony and the Johnsons, broke off as a solo artist. And the thing that I really appreciate about Anohni is that her first solo album, Hopelessness, in 2017, it's called Hopelessness. Very politically charged, very brutal, very negative perspective on the world, and very pessimistic perspective on the future. And I wouldn't say that her new album is optimistic by comparison, but the sounds are, it is optimistic, but only by comparison. I mean, the sounds are just so much warmer, so much livelier. She is delivering less sort of dejected hopelessness and more sort of righteous affirmation on the record. I mean, I think it's a masterpiece. I almost gave it a 10 out of 10. I think it's near perfect. Stunning record for like music fans and music dorks of the caliber like me.
What like genre did you say that was?
I would say it's like a soul album. For like anyone listening who's like a music fan, it's compared extensively to Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, and I think that's a wonderful comparison because it's like it delivers the socio-political depth and tact of songwriting that you would expect, but also with such a warm, such a vibrant, and such an inviting sonic palette that I just think it's a delightful experience to listen. Like, you listen to music where you don't pay attention to the lyrics, but then when you do pay attention to the lyrics, she just has so much to say about the world and about climate change and about being trans. And there's a song on there that's just a whole monologue about something that Lou Reed said to her before he died. It's a wonderful fucking album.
That's awesome. That sounds very powerful. Unfortunately, I'm only a hyper pop listener.
Is there a trans artist that you like that doesn't make hyperpop?
Not
to put you on the spot, but
I'd really have to think. Like, I'd have to look through my whole Spotify.
yeah, you really only like a couple of non-hyperpop artists, period. And it's mostly like rappers we listened to as freshmen in college, like Tyler the Creator and Childish Gambino.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, actually, like, before, I'm kind of interested to see how my music taste change lines up with my transition. Because before I got into hyperpop, I pretty much only listened to hip-hop. And before I got into hip-hop, getting back to my roots, in middle school, I only listened to dubstep and drum and bass.
Hell yeah.
So I kind of came back to the EDM side.
That's awesome.
When I transitioned.
You're not even a big Ethel Cain fan, are you?
I don't think I've ever listen to any of her music because like I know that it's not
It's
gonna
not really your
be
thing.
my thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't really listen to sad stuff. Um
That's fair.
Damn, do I have any?
You're flipping through Spotify on your phone right now, like, is there even one single trans person in here that's not making Slut Pop Miami?
No. Oh, Chase Icon. I know. I'm just getting back to hyperpop. Like I know she's gonna drop something soon. I love her. Sorry, I'm still looking for.
No, it's okay. Keep looking. I'm gonna talk about another amazing trans album from last year. The opposite of easy to listen to, though. The Liturgy album 93696, controversial album among black metal fans. Production from Steve Albini of Big Black and dozens of other projects who music fans will no doubt be familiar with. A really gripping, visceral, intense black metal album. Highly recommend it. It's got this great conceptual, philosophical ties throughout it. The lyrics are fascinating to dive into. You need a fucking master's degree in philosophy to understand what Ravina Hunt Hendricks is writing and singing about. But also it has just a genuine, like, in contrast with its most blistering, harshest, grating moments of just black metal fury, it also has this really angelic overtone to it that I find fascinating. Like, if you like experimental metal and what is defensively called hipster metal, definitely one of my favorite albums of last year. Highly recommended. Do you have anything?
No, I can't really find anybody. I mean, yeah, there's really no one in here.
Damn, that's brutal.
I really wish that I had any non-hyperpop trans musicians. Maybe I will have to get into Ethel Cain.
She just dropped, the day that we're recording this, she just dropped a new song for Palestine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that seemed like she made a statement that definitely seemed like it was saying all of the right things that would, align with what much of her fan base believes about that situation. And I've seen her getting a lot of praise for it. And I think the song is somehow generating money for, aid and relief effort, which is good. I haven't even heard the track yet because I haven't had a moment to breathe yet today. But yeah, definitely. I mean, that's someone who I would have never expected her to have the kind of breakthrough she did with, the sort of Phoebe Bridgers crowd. But even though I don't think they understand her music and they're not listening to the lyrics of Gibson Girl or House in Nebraska, I'm good for her. I'm glad those songs are taking off. She seems like a cool and responsible person and someone that I'm comfortable with, at least at the moment, being a sort of bastion for trans people into the sapphic world of singer-songwriters occupied by the Boy Genius core fans.
Yeah, it's a shame that, like, I feel like because she's so adjacent to that audience, I've seen a lot of TERFs go after her because they, like, especially some, like, don't know that she's trans before they listen to her music. But yeah, she seems awesome, like, as a person, and I love seeing pictures of her.
Yeah?
She's
Why?
she has, like, good photo, like, she's done some good photo shoots.
Yeah, no, definitely she has. She's, like, pretty fashion conscious and looks great.
She's hot.
Almost all the time. I was trying to avoid just saying she's hot, but
sorry.
Yeah. No, she is hot. I mean, you're right for that. I
love her little forehead tattoo.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. She does it right. Like, I appreciate what she's got going on. I will say, this is not a rag on you, just a public service announcement. There are trans people making great, innovative, forward-thinking music in every single genre you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, I'm just like kind of dumb.
No, it's fine. It's not even the burden is not to, go out and listen to all of these artists or anything, but like hip hop has, artists like Backwash and Censored Dialogue that are amazing. Glass Beach and Weather Day are making pioneering, innovative emo music. There are so many artists out there in every genre you can think of. I mean, we were talking with someone the other day about scrams, which is a whole subgenre of lo-fi screamo that is full of trans people. So many great DIY, local, trans femme in particular, fronted scrams acts exist out there. I already reviewed the new Poorly Wrote Suicide Note album that came out this year, and there are just so many like interesting people in the scram scene, dolls making great, insane, chaotic screamo. There's just like literally every single genre you can think of. Somewhere out there is a doll who is innovating it, who is pushing it forward, who is testing its limits. Yuboa making noise music, one of my favorite noise artists. I mean, you could even go back to like Gloss, who were a pretty big, definitely much more like hardcore band in the early to mid like 2010s in doll scenes, and local doll bands are making great hardcore and screamo and electronica and hyperpop in scenes all over the place. There's so many like people and friends I know personally who are making great music in all of these different genres. Like, I would go and shout out every single doll artist that I know and love and support, but it would be dozens and dozens and dozens of people. And there's someone I would forget at the end of the day. So like, follow me on social media where I'd be posting all this shit about all the dolls I know making great screamo and scrams and noise and hyperpop and hip hop and black metal and doom metal and death metal and drone. Because like, I don't know, transgender people are just coming at this with the like most creative ass energy and ambition right now.
Yeah, I mean, trans people biologically have an advantage in creating music.
That is objectively true. I am like so much more inclined to give an album a shot as soon as I learn that it's made by a trans person.
If the DJ isn't trans, I'm walking out.
Amen. Fucking man. If the DJ isn't clocky, I'm not at the function.
If the crowd isn't clocky, I'm not at the function.
Yeah, if there's not enough clocky dolls in your crowd, I'm like, why am I here? Like, clearly, wherever they all are right now is clearly better than this, so why am I here? I kind of gave all of my thoughts in that big monologue about how many trans people are making great music.
Yeah, I mean, this podcast episode is basically just another of like your music reviews and rants that you usually do.
What do you mean? You took up half of the podcast too, talking about Aisha and Kim Petras beef that no one but you gives a shit about.
I didn't even get that into it, but basically Aisha was just replying to Kim stans and like getting more and more mad. Like, I think like at first Aisha started the thread with like, no shade to Kim, and she ended the thread with like bashing Kim for getting gender affirming surgery at 12 and like bashing her production.
Oh man, Aisha Erotica was being like trashy and toxic and bad. That's crazy. You're telling me she was in the wrong? Aisha? No, never.
I mean, yeah. Well, she's trying to be different now.
It's not working.
Yeah.
We should talk about Slater. Since everyone thinks
our favorite doll.
Our favorite clocky cis woman making doll-coded hyperpop bangers. I mean, I talked about, like Weather Day and Glass Beach are non-binary fronted outfits. Those are trans people.
I like a Glass Beach song.
You like one Glass Beach song? Is it the CIA?
Yeah.
That song fucking rips. That song is so good. I didn't like the new Glass Beach as much as everybody else did, but I thought it was solid. I just remembered that right behind where Lex is sitting, I have an autographed Weather Day CD on my sort of mantle next to my bedside table.
I like the little weather day guy. Like,
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
he?
He's called Sputnik.
Oh, Sputnik.
And then the NB who does Weather Day is also called Sputnik. And they're a precious, adorable little angel who could not have possibly been nicer to me. Anyway, Yves Tumor.
Oh, yeah. They're
NB?
non-binary.
Yeah. You would like Yves Tumor.
I've liked at least one or two of their songs.
Yeah. So
So
it's definitely worth something getting into.
there's a trans non-binary artist who doesn't make hyperpop that I think I like, but I need to listen to more.
We're almost like we're reaching the point where it's like I'm just thinking about trans people that make music. So maybe it's time to wrap this up. Okay, that's it for episode 5. And I don't want to make any promises yet because something insane could happen. But I think episode 6 will be the first Lexless episode because I'll be in Portland with my forever girlfriend. And I think her and I are going to record an episode of the podcast together because she is one of the funniest, most fascinating people I've ever met, much like you. So
Me?
yeah, I think the sort of gimmick of me playing the straight woman opposite someone who's full of bizarre thoughts from other universes will still work when she's in place as co-host. So that's something to look forward to.
That's cute. I'm excited to listen to you guys.
Yeah. So that'll be out about 2 weeks from this one. Thanks for listening. Kisses. Mwah.
Bye.
Good night.